Hello, Anime and Manga here, and today I've decided to do a top 15 anime and manga countdown. So in this video, I'll tell you my top 15 anime and manga. I'll tell you if I prefer the manga or the anime or whatever, or if I've read just the manga or the anime, and so on and so on. Now, just note this is my personal opinion. You might not like this anime. I do. This is my video, not yours. And I'd also like to mention that some animes may be better than others, but this is my favorite. So I can prefer an anime even though it's not a better one. For example, like an anime can get a 10 out of 10, but my favorite anime doesn't necessarily need to be an anime that would get a 10 out of 10. I hope you get what I'm saying. Also, this doesn't include movies. So let's start with number 15. And at number 15 is Detective Conan or Case Closed. Now, I like this series because I really like mystery novels, but this takes the mystery genre and puts it in manga. So mystery plus manga equals win. The only problem I have with this series is it's very long and it's not very plot driven. So I think that's the main reason it doesn't have so many fans, because people don't want to read or watch 600 episodes about him solving a case, and every episode is pretty much a case. I mean, there are still episodes where the plot is there, and those are my favorite episodes. I mainly read the manga just because it's so long, and I prefer spending 10 minutes on reading a full case as opposed to spending 20 minutes of watching the same case. Next up is number 14. I was a little surprised when I was making this list that this came number 14. I thought it would be in my top 5, but actually it wasn't. And number 14 is Full Metal Alchemist. I haven't watched Brotherhood yet, so I can't say if I prefer Full Metal Alchemist or Brotherhood, but I have read the manga, and I like the anime a lot. Number 13 is Negima. I've only watched the anime, and I've never read the manga, but I think the manga is a lot longer than the anime, and I've only watched the first season of Negima. Number 12 is Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. This is by Clamp, and I've watched some of the anime, but I've read most of the manga. I really like this series because I like the plot, but I also like how they travel into different worlds, so it always brings about a new setting. So you're always in a new world, and that's what I really like about this series. Number 11 is 20th Century Boys. So there is no anime for this manga series, and it's only available in manga, and there are 3 movies, but like live action movies. I really like this series. It's very suspenseful and is by Naoki Urasawa, and that's the same person who does Monster and Pluto. Like I said, this manga is very suspenseful, so check it out. Number 10 is Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad. I've watched the anime. I haven't read the manga, but since it's a music anime, I would definitely go for the anime as opposed to the manga, because you can't hear music if you're reading it. So that's why I would go for the anime. And it's a really good anime, and I really liked it. In fact, it really got me into listening to music. It was really good. So, number 9. I was actually surprised that this was also number 9. I was thinking it was going to be in the top 5, like Full Metal Alchemist. And this is Akira. No, I'm not talking about the movie. Like I said, movies aren't in this list. But I'm talking about the manga. And the manga was even better than the movie because you get so much more. I think the movie is like manga 1, 2, and 6. So for 3, 4, 5, that's all in the manga. And I mean, who doesn't love Akira? It's Akira. It's so good. Number 8 is Pheonix by Osamu Tezuka. I haven't watched the anime. I've read the manga, and I think the anime is a lot shorter than the manga. So I would go for the manga. And I just like this series a lot, and each volume is a separate story. But they're all somehow related because they deal with this phoenix who has eternal blood. Well, if you drink the blood, you have like eternal life. And it was a really good manga, and I really liked it. It was really good in like thought-provoking wise. Now, number 7, the famous Dragon Ball. I prefer Dragon Ball over Dragon Ball GT and Dragon Ball Z. So I'm referring to Dragon Ball. This is a classic. Everybody loves the Dragon Ball franchise. Me, personally, I prefer Dragon Ball. Number 6 is, well, I'm kind of referring to the franchise because I like all Gundams. And number 6 would be the Gundam franchise. But, of course, there are some Gundams that I prefer over others. And right now, I'm watching Gundam 00, which you should expect a review of that shortly. And for number 6, let's just put Gundam 00 in there because that's the one that I'm watching right now, and I really like it. I don't know if I prefer it more than the original Gundam, but I prefer it more than Wing and Seed. So Gundam is at number 6. I'm a pretty big Gundam fan. Now we're at the top 5. So, number 5 is Cowboy Bebop. I've reviewed it, so check it out. This anime has a great soundtrack. I mean, every episode is very entertaining. I never felt bored watching it. And that's why I like this series. Oh, and I also really like the characters. The characters also make this anime really good. Number 4 is Death Note. I love the anime and I love the manga. They're both great, and this is very like psychological, and I love how it plays on that very well. And that's what I really like about the series. I mean, it's very like interesting, and like it makes you very curious to find out what happens next. It's suspenseful. Next up, for number 3, is by the same authors of Death Note, and it's Bakuman. I think this manga, I've only read the manga, is very well written. I mean, since I'm an otaku, I really like to learn about manga, and you learn so much, like how you need an editor, and like rough drafts and final drafts and all that, and it really tells you like how how the manga industry works, like how you get your manga serialized in a magazine, and which magazine do they choose to cut, and the order of which they place the manga in the magazine. You learn so much from reading Bakuman, and that's why I like it a lot. Number 2 is Naruto. I'm not a big 3-tard, don't worry, but I actually really like Naruto. I just find the story very fun to read, and I found it interesting, and I just stuck with it. That's why I really like Naruto. I prefer the manga because you don't have all that filler, and man, I really hate filler. And now it's time for number 1, and it's Hunter x Hunter. Now, I've read the manga. I haven't watched the new 2011 series, but but I've watched the original anime. So I prefer the manga because in the original anime it has a lot of filler. Well, like I mean, at the on the very first episode you have filler, but once the filler sort of disappears, the anime is very good. But like I said, I read the manga and I got into this series by reading the manga. I got it the first volume as a gift, and then I fell in love with it, and I had to buy volume 2 the next day. So, yeah, Hunter x Hunter, number 1. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please feel free to comment, subscribe, favorite, like. So, I have a question for you. What are your top 15 anime? Top 10, top 5? What's your favorite? Let me know in the comment section. And if you want a review of any of these top 15 animes, let me know. Request it, and I will probably do a review just for you.